This sucks.
Yeah.
Live from the 7th floor of Fondren Library, you're listening to the Mustang Mood Podcast.
At 7th floor Fondren Library, Studio D for depressing.
Depressing, yeah.
Depression.
Studio L, maybe even.
Yeah.
They moved us pretty far down the hall.
If you're listening to this audio version and not watching the live stream, then you're probably having a better experience than the live streamers. But we figured that since we all suffered watching the game, we should all just suffer watching this podcast live.
Yeah,
That's
For some reason, the frame rate is... it looks like it's maybe better.
Oh, wow.
Well, we'll see how that goes. If it sucks,
It is what it is.
You can just listen. It is what it is. Yeah, so we're all very depressed, upset.
Yes.
I think the best way to just start this podcast off is... So we actually had the privilege of having media credentials for this game, which we're very excited about. Really looking forward to. But, you know, we all know how it went. But it was a really cool experience. It was super fun. The media team at SMU is amazing. They're all very nice. They're super cool.
Yeah,
really love working with them.
Lawrence.
Yeah, Chris and
awesome.
Lawrence. They're great guys. So we got to go down the sideline before the game started. We got to sit up in the press box. We got to go to the press conference after the game. And so I just want to share with all of y'all kind of Coach Lashley's first statement in the press conference. If you'll just bear with me here. Jay, you got something to say?
No. It was an honor, though. Yeah, once again, thanks, Chris, for the media passes. It's great to watch football on AC.
Yeah, it is great. All right, here we go.
So, good hard-fought defensive battle. Really disappointed to come out on the wrong side of it. We had plenty of opportunities and thought our kids played extremely hard. Even though we didn't play well on offense, our guys on offense played really hard, and our guys on defense played really well. Got the turnovers we needed, and our kicker was excellent. But, from a statistical or just looking at a standpoint, can't be 2 of 5 in the red zone and 3 of 16 on third down and win very often. We had our chances, and proud of our kids, played their guts out. I just didn't do a good enough job of pushing us through and winning the game, and that's my job. So, question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it brings up another point we talked about week 1 is should Rhett be calling plays? I don't know what the answer to that is. I don't know if anyone else can do it better than him, but I mean, there's definitely failure on the coaching side today.
Yeah.
And then it all boils back down to, who was behind center today? And today it was Kevin. And I thought for a lot of the game that was the right decision. Preston looked pretty bad in his 3 drives that he got today. Yeah, it was hard to watch a lot of the time. We didn't look like an ACC team. We looked like a Big Ten team with how much special teams we had. we looked like we probably could have played Iowa pretty well.
We looked like the Mustangs a year ago,
Yeah,
Against power teams.
there's almost no
against
difference
power teams.
between this game and OU last season.
Or TCU or... Yeah.
The story's the same. The
Yeah.
outcome's a little different, right? Losing
Yeah.
by 3 hurts a lot. Not finding the end zone is rough. But the story is the same. Is defense fought hard, did everything they needed to do, and then
And more.
yeah, offense couldn't get it done. Yeah, Kobe Wilson, shout out, played really well, big interception. And then let's see, who else had that?
The defensive line was awesome.
Yeah. Defense really did an exceptional job. I guess
Pretty much everyone on the
Do we-
defense.
do we-
yeah.
do we kind of just want to go... we just have a bunch of random notes.
Here,
Do we want to start with like the beginning of the game?
I want to read something first.
Okay.
This is a wonderful quote. It's very well thought out. We had some guys play their butts off tonight, and we're sitting here again talking about the same things, about not finishing when you have an opponent in a position to put them away. I'm angry about it. It's unacceptable for us to not have found a way to win this football game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly after the USC game.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to shout out Amy Murphy in the chat says, feels like we need to pick one quarterback and get them comfortable. Yes, you're preaching to the choir, Amy. Seriously.
That is literally what we've been saying.
We've been talking about it. You just got to pick one and roll with it. It didn't work today, clearly, but...
And that's what we were saying all game. You should have seen us, up in the press box, you're not really allowed to cheer because people are working. And we were working, with air quotes, if you're listening. And so we were really trying hard not to yell or be too loud. But pretty much the whole time we were just talking amongst ourselves in hushed voices about how ridiculous the whole quarterback situation feels. Yeah, Jay, did you have something to say?
No, not anymore.
He's filtering.
Before we get into the actual game thing, I have to say something about just the environment tonight. Not necessarily the environment, but we're not a serious program. I'm sorry, I have to say this. We're not serious. I understand we had a fireworks show planned. If you weren't at the game, there was a fireworks show planned for after the game. As soon as we lose that game, you have to cancel.
You have to cancel it.
You cannot. Literally, BYU is celebrating with their fans, and there's fireworks going off in our stadium.
Yeah,
it's honestly embarrassing.
We were headed down to the field during that, and just to hear them announce the fireworks show, and then see the fireworks go off with a big bang, and then to hear all of the BYU fans cheer in unison after that, really hurt. It really rubbed me wrong.
That's AAC kind of stuff, not ACC.
And I think
it's ridiculous.
Whoever was in charge of the fireworks, great job. I think the fireworks looked great, especially at the beginning of the game.
During the game, yeah.
During the game, it added a lot to the atmosphere, and I'm sure you worked really hard on those fireworks, but if we lose, you need to not do a show at all.
Only fireworks when there's fireworks.
Don't even play music. Just let us walk out of there.
Those were the only fireworks that were produced by SMU in this game. Okay.
With the exception of Colin
the defense,
Rogers.
except for the defense.
Yeah. But anyways, I think we should start because, we're very somber and upset. But I do have some positive points. First, I think the atmosphere, like I was saying, was amazing. The fans showed up. The student section, which was like 4 sections of the lower bowl on the visitor side, I think all of them but one were completely full, and that one was probably like half full. So I think, congrats to the students. Cheers to the students for showing up.
Yeah.
It's just like it really adds to the atmosphere. And it was super cool sitting up in the press box. We have a great view of the entire stadium. Anyways, that's odd, but anyways, it's good for them to see that. And really helps with our recruiting as well. So good job, keep it up. Also, just all the other non-student fans. The stadium was pretty full. Jay, we were talking, what's the number count? I'm sure we could Google it, but I think it was up there for sure.
Honestly, we got done dirty by some stupid Big 12 Twitter account that said nobody showed up. They did that right before literally everybody showed up.
Yeah, we're notorious for not showing up on time.
People were late.
This is probably a record for the last while. 31,172. So
not bad.
By far that's probably TCU 2022 is probably. I don't even know if that many people got in the stadium against TCU.
There were a lot of BYU fans, but it's not. They didn't outnumber us. Definitely not.
One thing I want to talk about is penalties. 7 for 69 yards. They couldn't have come at worse times.
Time. Oh my gosh.
Just really. And specifically the one that sticks out in my mind is Chambly.
The hold,
holding on a first and goal right after
the 3.
A huge interception by Harrison Hunt.
Yeah.
So congrats, Harrison, on a just absolutely wonderful interception. Did everything you possibly could to get us in a position to get in the end zone, and then a holding call on 1st and goal.
It was killer.
Defense did everything they needed to do to give us the opportunity to win this game, and the offense just they saved all the fireworks for the post-game show.
Yeah.
So
I mean, defense holding them to 15 points, I think, is exceptional. I think they did a really great job. This one's on the offense, obviously.
Yeah, easily.
On the offensive line.
Yeah, 2 for
on the
5 in the
quarterbacks.
red zone. That's awful.
Yeah. It was hard to watch, especially coming off of last year where, we weren't playing teams with very good defense, and we're able to just kind of throw bombs and just roll right over them, and it wasn't an issue. And you get used to that, and then you come to a game like this where, it's not a top-tier team. This is the frustrating. It's not a top-tier team, but they are in the Big 12. They are just a bigger, better program than what we played last year. And I don't think our offense was ready for that, So, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, they're in the Big 12, but we're in the ACC. We were 11.5-point favorites. I don't know how that happened. I think maybe we should have been 3-point favorites. I don't know how we get to 11.5.
Yeah, it felt a little high.
But, should have put money on BYU. This one just hurts. It just hurts in a lot of different ways. I think the 3-and-out, Preston Stone, I think he went 3-and-out all 3 times he was on the field.
Had absolutely
got
no
sacked.
chance.
How many times? 2 times? Is that right?
Yeah.
2 or 3
2 or
times?
3. He had no chance.
Yeah, Preston Stone got sacked 3 times.
3
he was
times
2 of
3
4
drives.
in the air for 4 yards and got sacked 3 times.
Yeah.
And I think that leads into the quarterback question, because going into the season, Coach Lashley was talking about how, Preston's the starter, but we're going to play Kevin a little bit and see how it goes, whatever. And, he stuck with Stone against Nevada, stuck with Stone as long as he needed to. He didn't really need to, against Houston Christian. But for this game, our offensive line just got rolled over. And Stone can't run like Jennings can. And so I think that's why we ended up going with Jennings, just because he could scramble and get out of there and get some yardage.
Yeah, I do think that he was the better guy. I mean, we should have gone with Jennings. Preston looked so bad. Jennings was the right call. When the offensive line collapsed, I mean, they did awful. I mean, there were some really low points for the offensive line today. And when that happened, then Kevin was able to do something with it where Preston ended up on his back. That was disappointing. Hey, George, just a quick note. I see you're talking about the team not staying for varsity. That was a decision. Talked to the band director. That was a decision made before the season. They were going to stay for Pony Battle Cry and then run into the locker room. And so varsity, they didn't stay for varsity last week. They won't stay for varsity next week.
Yeah, I noticed that this week and didn't know that, and I was pretty upset too. And then Jay informed me what he just informed all of y'all. So I think they should stay for varsity, but whatever.
I'm not going to lie. If I was on the team, I would not want to stay out there.
I mean,
second.
you don't, but
Yeah.
no one does. But it's I think it stands for, keeping your head high even when you lose and standing for your school and for the culture and everything. So I think that's a miss on their part. Nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, I will say on another note about Preston, I really don't think this is just what I think has been the issue with this quarterback system. You can't judge a quarterback off of 2 or 3 drives. I mean, he had absolutely no chance on the 3 drives he had. The offensive line was terrible. So it's like Kevin gave them a spark, but also you have to give a quarterback time to work through it. So I don't have a problem with him going with Kevin. It's just start one. This 2-drive stuff is just not going to work. And I knew it was going to take I knew it was going to bite us in the butt, and I think it did today because I don't know. It's just I don't even know what to say about it anymore. It's just frustrating for that to keep happening.
Yeah, I wish it was clear what Rhett had to do, and and I definitely have sympathy for him. It's not an easy pick. I know some people will just say, oh, just pick Preston or just pick Kevin, but I don't think it's that easy. I think Kevin was the right guy tonight.
Yeah.
As much as it was bad, but I do think the perk of going on the field for 2 drives and then switching out is that we get to see how both guys are doing. But it does seem like we waste 2 drives doing that, and 2 drives could have meant, the whole deal. That's the whole game. Could have been if we could have scored a touchdown. If we would have found the end zone, we would have won the game. So,
yeah, George, I agree with you. They should stay for the varsity, and we're definitely paying them more than $36K a year in NIL money.
That's probably the average.
That's the baseline maybe, but
most of the guys are probably not making a ton. It's just the top guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you, George, it's not their decision. It was athletics. It was kind of the football staff. I think I don't know if it was Rhett's decision or someone else, but that decision it was made this summer and wasn't a spur of the moment thing. So I highly disagree with it. I'm frustrated about the parade on the boulevard.
Yeah, what's up with that, Jay?
It doesn't exist anymore. They start at No Name Street and walk down No Name Street into Lloyd.
By Meadows Museum, right?
Yeah, right by the Meadows Museum. They get off the bus. They walk into the stadium.
They walk by, what is that?
They may be
Cockrell McIntosh or something like
behind it. Yeah,
behind it. Yeah.
They may be off the bus for a total of 60 seconds before they're back inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think we need to take a look at game day ops. Things inside the stadium are a lot better than they were in years past. Huge way to go. It's really the next level. And outside the stadium, the boulevard has gotten worse, which is...
And I will say that obviously these things are kind of drawing our ire because we didn't win. I'm sure if we had won, we wouldn't be talking about this.
Yeah, that's true.
But
we'd be pissed about varsity and the boulevard if we would have won.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have noticed.
They probably would have stayed for
I
varsity, I would think, but maybe not.
Yeah.
No, they didn't last week, so...
Oh, okay.
But...
That's right.
I don't know.
Sorry, I just want to get some comments. Jack asked what this food spread was like. They had Rudy's
barbecue sandwiches.
Yeah.
They had the option of a brisket sandwich, a turkey sandwich, or a pulled pork sandwich.
Uh-huh.
And they had what was the dessert? It was like peach cobbler, I think.
Banana pudding.
And banana pudding, but we missed that. And Coke products in the fridge. That was nice. No Dr. Pepper, though, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah. Jack Murphy also said, SMU hasn't beaten a Power 4 opponent at home since 2010, which it just feels like the same story like we talked about before. Like, we can't beat anyone that matters when it matters. Yeah, sure, we beat Tulane, but, like, even then we play an ACC team in the bowl game. And, just how many times do we have the opportunity to take the game and put it away? Like, 6 or 7? It's just ridiculous. We should be finding ways to win these games, and we're not. And I know I quoted Brian Kelly, but it's like, I am tired of it. Like, I'm tired of why are we still here? It's just frustrating. The play calling in the red zone was terrible. It's just killer penalties when you can't have it. Stupid mistakes on making turnovers.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know if Brashard Smith was trying to pitch that ball back. I will say, though, like, this doesn't count. I played 6-man football in high school, and there was one time where out of nowhere I pitched the ball when I shouldn't have, and it was a turnover, and I was like, it's almost like my brain went blank. Like, I couldn't think. It almost felt like maybe that was one of those moments because you saw Jordan Hudson was calling for the ball, and I think in a split second he was like, okay, maybe I should pitch it, and it just like...
Then it was just too late.
Just a terrible mistake. I'm sure it was one of those things, but...
In 6-man football, that's a common thing to do.
Yeah.
In 11-man college
that's
football.
True.
Not so much.
That's true.
I don't know the last time I saw someone like going down and pitching the ball randomly.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
just I just want to cover some lighter things. So BYU ran out with a Texas flag.
Yeah, I thought that was odd.
Were they just like honoring us, or?
I guess. Are they being nice? Or are they being
I don't know.
I don't like
mean?
it.
It's
They're
probably
being
nice.
I
It's
don't
probably
like
they're
it.
definitely being nice.
Yeah, and then they had their choir thing at halftime.
Which was not very good.
It didn't.
It
Well,
didn't
Well, we
sa-
couldn't hear it very well.
We could
but-
Yeah.
we could kind of hear it. It didn't
but
sound
from my
very good.
understanding, it was just all the people on mission in Dallas, and just because you're on mission doesn't mean you're a good singer. So, I think A for effort.
Yeah. I wish they would have been marching around the field while they were doing it. That would have been great.
Also, another note I got to point out: Amy says that that they need more Miko Cena stations in the stadium.
Got to get that Mambo.
I
taxi.
definitely know some people, or a person that enjoyed a Mambo taxi and a margarita. And I also, I'll agree. Maybe they need more Miko Cena stations in the
That's
stadium.
probably why we lost today.
Yeah, exactly. But also, great experience. Like like Ben was saying, the inside of the stadium is way better. I think everything's way more efficient. So they've done a really good job with that. And there was definitely no lines for the beer where the BYU fans were sitting, according to Amy. I got to give her credit for that one.
That's fine.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
yeah,
Texas
they're
State
saying
and,
they're saying it's a tradition for BYU to carry out the state flag they're in. George is questioning if it was a pitch. I mean, from our view, it looked like his arm started to go like this, like last second. Like there's no reason for him to be turning his arm out. That's why it looked like it was maybe a last second, like, oh, maybe I should pitch it, and like, oh, I probably shouldn't, and then it was a fumble. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Let's talk about some. We're kind of here in the middle. Let's talk about some good things we saw today.
Yeah.
We mentioned already the defense, some big turnovers. Brashard Smith still played really well.
Yeah.
The play where he got loose, fumbled the ball, recovered his own fumble, and then kept running.
He hit O twice, spin move twice, got them both.
And
That was good stuff.
Jalen Knighton had a great move, the hurdle. He got hit out of bounds. It wasn't quite
He
as
tried.
good
It was close.
as BYU's, but
I thought Keyshawn Smith was the only receiver that really. Oh, him and Jake Bailey got open a few times, but
yeah.
otherwise, I know there were some tough catches, but like Hudson missed a few that he could have caught, even though they were tough ones.
We had what do we have? We have a punt return that was pretty good, maybe.
Yeah.
We had
Roderick
one that
Daniels.
almost went. I mean, he got hit in the calf and then fell.
There were so many
Yeah.
like almost moments. Like we almost scored a touchdown on the interception.
And-
Stops at the 3-yard line, then we turn the ball over. It's just anyway. Sorry, you're trying to be positive.
Yeah. Positive.
It's very hard.
BYU went 2 of 13 on third downs.
That's incredible.
That's absolutely incredible. Unless
How did we do?
your offense goes 3 for 16.
Oof.
oh my gosh.
So yeah, that wasn't ideal. But great job defense. Some really big, just all throughout my notes. It's a huge stop. We had a big stop on 4th and inches.
They were awesome.
I think that was in the first quarter or beginning of the second quarter. But then right away, Savion Byrd holding call gets a big play. I think that was number 9. Keyshawn Smith had a big play over the middle from KJ, and that didn't go well. Another thing that went well though, Isaac's punting. Friend of the show, Isaac Pearson.
Yeah. We got to see
I don't
him
know if y'all
before
knew, but he used to work in coal mines.
Yeah. And apparently
then-
it was featured on ESPN, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So he used to work in coal mines. Now he's kicking for SMU.
Yeah, he had a
and he
good game.
punted pretty well today and
Yeah.
held well. A record number for Isaac today.
Yeah.
He held for the most field goals in SMU history.
How about
Colin
that?
Rogers
During a game.
During a single game,
Yeah.
correct. Colin Rogers also broke a record today for the most field goals made during a single game.
That's 5.
That's 5, yeah.
Yeah.
All 15 of our points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a bummer. It's great that he did it. I mean, good job, Colin. Wish we could have supported you, even just like the slight bit more on that. Also, just a note, he tied the career record at SMU with 44.
So, yeah. And he's
So
definitely
he's
bound
one
to
away.
beat it this year.
Hopefully,
Hopefully he never has to kick a field goal.
just a lot of extra points.
Just a lot of extra
That's my
points.
hope.
That's what we want. But on that note, I think we've talked I think we can all agree that Colin is our Mustang Mood player of the game.
Yep.
Easily.
Congratulations, Colin. Claps for you. It was a tough loss, but the fact that you were the single player that had all of the points for the team, I think that is a pretty clear distinction for you. So congratulations.
I'm going to catch up on the chat. John Morgan says he's still feeling pretty good about TCU or FSU. Hopefully it motivates the team. George likes the ticket poll to get these students to stay. Yonnic said that if we still win all our games, we're still national champions. So we're still going all the way.
We can lose one more. If we lose next week, that's still true.
Yeah. John Morgan is also concerned about the wide receivers and the tight ends, and not a lot of targets for RJ, which we agree.
Yeah.
The passing game was an absolute mess today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Rhett got asked about that as well, and he just said that BYU was given some odd looks, kind of switched up how they played defense today, and it really just, smothered RJ. They did a good job keeping our targets.
I only noticed like 2 targets personally.
They're pretty, he was pretty contained.
Yeah. We got to figure out a way to get our players the ball.
Yeah. We did get to ask Kevin Jennings and Kobe Wilson about what it means to have extra time preparing for next week. And they were excited to get some rest, but then also just have an extra week to get a leg up on TCU and watch some extra film for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, Rhett was asked, would you rather play this week or this next week or have a week off? And he was very passionate about wanting to get this taste out of his mouth as soon as possible.
Yeah, he wanted to play another game.
Yeah,
get over it.
Painful.
Yeah, I do. I have a lot of respect for Rhett Lashley. It seemed like from what the players said and what he said was consistent that him and the coaches and ultimately him took all the blame for the game. He said that the players, they played hard. They didn't do anything wrong. It was just his play calling and his coaching, and he failed them. So I think, and we were talking with someone else in there who had been to several different press conferences for different teams, and he said that he's never seen a team handle a loss like this. He's never seen a press conference like this, and I think that really speaks to just the character of Rhett and our coaching staff and the team. And so that was really encouraging to see. And I think, if you maintain an attitude like that and you work hard, I think there is a way out of it. And there's a way to come back around.
Yeah.
So it gives a little hope for the future.
Yeah. I have no qualms about Rhett being our head coach.
No.
None whatsoever. I think he is 1,000% the right man for this job. I want him to stay as long as he can.
Now, should he be making the play calls in the red zone?
That's a good question. And is he the right guy to be? Are we making a good decision at quarterback right now? These are 2 huge questions.
Yeah.
Up in the air that we don't know the answer to, and the answer may be no. But I still think he's the right man for the job. I think there's an element of he needs to get a Power 4 win under his belt. I think to step up to this next stage.
Yeah.
If he can get that, I think we'll.
If he doesn't, we're at 2-9. So.
Yeah, and then I may
2-10.
sing a different tune.
Yeah.
But like I said at the beginning of the season, if we go 1-11 and that 1 happens on September 21st, I'm all right with that. I'll take it. So if we go 3-9 and our only win that we get next is going to be TCU, hey, that's a season. You're in the ACC now. Let's recover.
Yeah.
Let's try again. But I'm not throwing out all hope. Just looking ahead, we've got lots of winnable games against winnable teams in the ACC.
So was this, though.
Or beatable. Yes. But, we're a trip to the end zone away from winning tonight.
It's just always so close, Yeah.
And
And I think that's one thing that's
what's
hurts
frustrating, yeah.
so much. And we just have so much hope.
It really takes you out of the Mustang mood.
Yeah.
A game like this tonight.
Really.
Puts you in a depressed Mustang mood.
Yeah. But we know the true fans. They live with the Mustang mood.
That's right.
They live on for the next game.
I really think, I think it's ridiculous for anybody to say fire Rhett. However, I do think there needs to be a major questions need to be asked about the play calling. I think when you look at the vast majority of like Power 2, let's just go with Power 2 because that's the only thing that's fair. Head coaches, a lot of them are not calling plays, and I think you've seen Mr. Clouds give that up. Some other people, I just think like there's just so much that goes into being head coach. I think we should take the rest of the season to see like, I mean, if we don't do so well, I'm not going to say fire Rhett, but it's like, do we need somebody to be the play caller so that Rhett can be like a CEO type?
I mean, is Casey Woods that bad at calling plays? I mean, why can't ROC
I don't think we know.
call plays?
Yeah.
And maybe
I
it's
agree.
still some growing pains. This is only Rhett's third year as a head coach of a football team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's got to be a lot of lessons to be learned.
Yeah. The red zone offense was just horrible.
Yeah.
And I think from this point too, like with the quarterback decision, I mean, kind of like Amy said earlier, like we need to pick one and just roll with it. At least give him like the full half. But then again, it's hard to say, like, Preston didn't really get a chance today, so it's hard to say he doesn't deserve it, but also Kevin didn't look very good. So it's like...
Yeah. My thought is
it's just confusing.
My thought is, especially against these types of teams, if our O-line can't shape up,
it doesn't,
can't hold the line,
it doesn't
then
matter.
We're almost going to have to go with Kevin because he's the best at scrambling.
Oh, I see.
You know? It's like, if the O-line is really good, then Preston's the guy. But if the O-line stays bad, then Kevin has to be the guy. You know? That's my thought.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
I mean, if they're as bad as they started, it doesn't matter who we throw back there. Like, we could throw Aaron Rodgers back there. He's probably going to...
He'd play a couple downs.
He'll probably opt out
hurt.
because, for some reason, to go on a wilderness retreat or something. But... What was I going to say? I don't. It's just frustrating.
Yeah. So lots of things we can improve on. A couple things to build on. I think there's something to be said about losing this game, being positive for the team. The Nevada game should have been a wake up call, and I think it was.
100%.
They played really well against Houston Christian. I think they did everything we hoped that they would do against them. And then I think there's a lot to be learned, and so. I hope this next week hurts a little bit for the guys. I hope it's uncomfortable in the locker room.
Yeah.
And I hope that this loss, just lights a fire in them to never get here again.
Yeah.
I think we have the skill. I think we have the talent to beat the TCUs, the Florida States, the Dukes, the Stanfords, the Pitts of the ACC. And so I don't see a lot of those teams being a whole lot better than BYU. And so, I think we had it in the tank tonight to do it, but I just think there were a couple things we put in our way from getting there.
We beat ourselves. I mean, let's be real. Like they made plays, but like we should have put them away when it was 12-7. We should have scored a touchdown and that game would have been over. I mean, that's what's the frustrating thing for me is like, how many times are we right there and then we just do something just stupid or something unlucky happens. I mean, like what Brashard did was dumb, but also it's also unlucky that he's on top of somebody so his knee doesn't go down like a second before. So it's just just frustrating to be there and to feel like they like their quarterback gave us the game. Literally, he put it on a platter and we just gave it right back to them. And that's what's so frustrating is like, can we just get out of our own way? Otherwise, this game's a win. Like, we should easily win this game. But when are we going to get out of our own way? I don't know. It's frustrating.
And just to be clear, I think, we talked about this earlier. It's the same story as we had last year. We didn't get beat today. I think we beat ourselves today. We didn't execute when we had the opportunity to punch it in and to seal a win. And so that's the same story against Boston College and the same story against OU last season and TCU.
Mm-hmm.
Is we could have won these games had it not been for tripping over ourselves.
Yeah.
George, I like your fun fact. Horned frogs are not actually frogs. That's fact. Hypnotoad, I'm not sure that's a real thing even. They are Texas horned lizards, which are just reptiles. So George poses a good question. Is TCU stupid? George, I don't know what all caps is about.
And
whoa. Dude.
Also,
Yeah.
the H and F and horned frogs are both capitalized.
Yeah.
You got to fix that, buddy.
We don't capitalize anything regarding TCU.
Yeah.
And yeah, is TCU stupid? Do you even need to ask that question? The answer is yes.
It was interesting to hear. We were talking to a guy from another podcast who told us that he's talked to other people that have all had bad experiences at TCU, which was interesting.
And he's had bad experiences.
Yeah, and he
with
himself
working with
has
the staff
too.
there, yeah.
So
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Something about people in purple polos.
Going off of TCU, I am still seeing dudes in TCU polos in Dallas. What's up with that?
I don't know.
we need Eric Johnson to watch our pod, so that he can, or we need to get him on so that he can like issue a decree or something.
Yeah.
That's enough of
Yeah,
this.
we'll draft it up, get him to sign it.
And one of the only cures to this blight that is existing within our city, our county, our state, honestly, is to get yourself a TCU Sucks shirt for you to wear around.
Man, that's a great idea.
And
Where can I get one?
I'm about to get there.
Oh,
today.
okay. Sorry.
I've seen it work wonders. You wear that shirt
It's like therapy.
and
It's better than
the
therapy.
dudes in the TCU polos just
disappear.
scatter like cockroaches when you turn the lights on. So it's like TCU repellent. It's awesome. Also, the shirts are very soft. So
That's what you need, and everyone needs that in their life.
Yeah.
TCU repellent.
Yeah. We should build a wall, George said.
Oh wow!
And we're gonna make TCU pay for it.
I feel uncomfortable.
Usually never mind. Anyways, you can get these TCU Suck shirts at tayhosdesigns.com, TAYHOSS designs.com. You can also buy them in person if you want to feel them before you purchase them. From the Boulevard, Spot 69, there's a big Tejas Designs tent. They got the shirts hanging there. You really can't miss it. It's right across the street from the health center. So check them out, especially, get your shirt online for the TCU game or just
They're soft. You can wear it without washing.
100%. Yeah.
You can show up.
Or you can just show up and buy it at the TCU game.
Yeah.
But support those guys because they support us. They're also just a cool SMU alum. They did say to wear blue, and they don't come in blue, George. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't like that. If you're gonna today, I liked it today. Everyone wore red, and we stood out in comparison to the blue at BYU.
Blue.
Why do they want us to wear blue against TCU? It seems like the obvious color to wear against the purple team is red.
Yeah. Or
But-
white.
Or white.
I don't
with that.
see a problem with blue, but
I don't like it.
It
Also,
blends with the purple
why
on TV.
do I have to be told what color I have to wear every game? Let me wear whatever color I want sometime. I've got some cool shirts. I want to break them out.
How do you think the stripe out's going to go
not well.
for FSU?
If they want to do a stripe out, they have to give us the shirts.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's not
do you
going to
know
work
what color
otherwise.
we are in our section?
No. Do you?
Yeah, I know. Ben, do you know what color you are in
Nope.
your section?
No idea.
Yeah. Look it up online, folks.
It's not going to work.
But actually, don't. Wear whatever color you want. I mean, it's just the Boulevard sucks. The parade sucks.
The Boulevard doesn't suck.
It may be worse.
It's
Why does the
worse.
Boulevard suck?
The Boulevard is worse
Why?
because it opens 4 hours in advance now. If Rhett actually had the great idea of let's Boulevard after some games so that like people stay around and watch the game and then we Boulevard afterwards. I'm okay with that. The little after
The
party.
only game you can Boulevard after is the 11 a.m.
Yeah. I think that's he said this last year when we had a lot of 11 a.m. games. But Florida State might be anyway. But I don't want to be there 4 hours in advance. Number 2, the parade. The parade's gone.
Yeah, that's
awful.
bad.
And I don't know. I feel like I'm being dictated to all the time what to do. Like, shoot the fireworks off 90 minutes before the game starts. Shoot fireworks off 30 minutes before the game starts. I'm like, listen, I have a watch right here. Apple made this, and it tells me what time it is. And I know that the game starts at 6. So at 5:30, I have 30 minutes till the game starts.
Yeah.
And at 4:30, I have 90 minutes till the game starts. I graduated from SMU. I know how to do math, basic arithmetic. I don't need fireworks, and I don't need blue outs, and I don't need stripe outs and red outs. And the red out I was okay with. White outs, I'm okay with too. First game of the season, I'm good with that.
It's a tradition.
Don't tell us, because literally every other game
There's a color.
is
It used to
is a
not be
color.
that way.
It used to not be that way.
It used to just be
It
the
used
first
to be
game.
special when they asked you to do something out.
Yeah.
Sorry, to Amy, the stripe map is on the SMU Mustangs website. If you just look it up, SMU stripe. Although part of the student section isn't really a stripe,
Yeah, they're all the same color.
but
It's the students.
yeah, like every 2 sections pretty much is either white or blue. So like if you're in 122 and 121, you're white, and the same above. The next 2 are blue and then white, and so on.
Just stop telling me what to do all the time. That's all.
People are angry about you guys hating on the Boulevard.
Jack, I did not.
I couldn't make it today, so I have nothing to say.
Jack, I did not say
my
anything
hands are
bad about the
clean.
Boulevard. That's just Jay.
I
So
washed
No.
my hands.
you can uninvite Jay. Well, he was never invited. To
I
begin
washed
with.
my hands
So
with these people.
you can just not invite Jay to the Boulevard, your tent, and I'll.
I think there are lots of great things
I'll keep
about
going.
the Boulevard.
I love the Boulevard. Yeah.
113 is white, Amy. 113 and 114 are white.
Lots of great things about the Boulevard. I think that it is less good than it used to be.
Mm.
I may have said something too strong. The Boulevard sucks.
You really did.
I take
come
it
on
back.
strong, Jay.
I take it back. Yeah. Maybe I'm a little high strong at the moment.
That's
Wonder why that is.
understandable.
The Mustang mood. Okay.
And I think I want to end. It doesn't have to be the end, but on a positive note is, as painful as this is, if we beat the team from Fort Worth in 2 weeks, nobody's going to care about this stupid game.
Yep.
I
So
agree.
let's
Especially if we beat Florida State.
let's go freaking beat them, and then we won't even care about today ever
Mhm.
again.
Yep.
And they have
Please.
2 weeks to prepare for it.
Please.
Yep.
A
Or
random.
else I cry.
Oh, thanks, Amy. Amy said I can come to the tent anytime. I just want to. This is random, completely off topic. I just got to say that the down marker refs, the people that hold the down markers and
Yeah.
like the
sticks.
the sticks, whatever. What are they called? Do you know?
The chains?
The chain gang.
Chain gang.
Chain
Yeah.
gang.
Yeah.
They tonight. I don't know what it is with the ACC chain gang, whatever, but they had some balls of steel. They were not jumping out of the way when people
Yeah,
were
they
running
really
down.
weren't.
Like I saw,
They were-
they got hit several times.
Standing
They
their
they were
ground.
standing their ground. Usually, they always the guys running like 10 yards away from them, and they drop the chains and run away. But
Yeah.
they held strong. I was impressed.
Yeah, the Big 12 chain gang would have jumped out of the way like sissies.
Yeah,
American.
They would have.
too.
Although they won today, so. Oh well,
Yeah.
we won't talk about that.
We'll get them next time. All right. BYU wins today 18-15 over your SMU Mustangs. Next game is in 2 weeks. SMU versus those boys from Fort Worth.
The Carter boys.
Yeah. That's going to be
4 p.m.
at Ford at 4 p.m.
Central Time.
Make sure to be on the Boulevard at 8:30 a.m. Ready for that game.
And the Boulevard shuts down at 3 p.m., so you better get your butt out of there.
yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, anyway.
One more thing, unrelated to football. Some of us got to go experience
Oh, yeah.
and watch SMU volleyball completely sweep the number 2 team in the nation, Nebraska, in front of a record crowd for a volleyball game,
Yep.
an SMU volleyball game.
Blew the record out.
There were more Nebraska fans there than
Yeah, it was about
SMU
50,
fans,
50.
but
Huh? What?
it was pretty fun.
It was
really fun.
It was awesome. It was a really fun game. We'll be covering that a little bit next week. We'll have a little more time to dive into
Yeah.
that.
Since
But-
Yonnic's not here today,
Yeah.
and he was at the game.
And we'll do some more Carter boy preview.
Yep. So we'll have
hopefully we'll be a little bit more relaxed and recovered, but
Yeah.
yeah.
we're still in pain right now, so we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need a week off to mourn.
Yeah. So the world keeps spinning. The ponies will keep going.
Hopefully.
Like I said, 2 weeks from now, 4 p.m. in Ford, your SMU Mustangs take on the bad guys from Fort Worth. So tune in next week for our preview for that preview of TCU, and then the preview for the preview. No, just one. We're going to preview the game. This is the preview for the preview.
That's true.
And some volleyball action. Some big games coming up for volleyball. So go take a look at that schedule. It's pretty impressive. We've got Kentucky, Purdue, I think.
Yep.
And
Pitt.
And some
Stanford.
really big ACC teams coming to town.
Yeah.
We have several games against top 10 teams this year.
Yeah. And you'll know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, especially the 8 people that are watching live. Just go ahead and give the video a like real quick. And if you're listening, sorry, Jay, I didn't want to.
No.
Yeah, no, you got
Keep
it.
going.
You got it, man.
No. You jumped in there really nicely.
I sometimes I'm bad about interrupting people, especially when I go back and listen. This is like therapy right now. When I go back and listen, when I'm editing the audio, I realize that I cut you all off a lot. So I wanted to apologize for that.
The Mustang Mood
you're
Therapy.
forgiven.
Thank you for joining the Mustang Mood Therapy session. We are your licensed professional SMU counselors.
Yeah. So, where was I?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes. If you're listening, audio version on a podcast app, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you're on Apple Podcasts, you can actually leave your thoughts. And I think you actually can leave comments on episodes now on Spotify. So please do that. We will like those. We'll respond to those. We may even shout you out on the pod. Leave us a review. Follow us on Instagram. Interact with the reels that we post. If you want to. You don't have to. Yeah. But it is fun.
Yeah. And congrats to Colin Rogers on the record, and even more important, being the SMU Mustang Mood Player of the Game.
Yes.